Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you my latest build based off of the 2005 Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic version. With news of the Classic Collection, I was super excited. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has always been my favorite video game. This mock only focuses on the Hero Assault game mode because that's my preferred game mode, but eventually I want to build some conquest scenes too. Before we get into the build, if you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out when I drop new videos. So let's jump into the build. If you've ever played Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know that Darth Vader is one of the best characters in the game. He has Force Choke and Force Float, and his speed and ability to close space and put pressure on his enemies is unrivaled. I wanted to really capture that feel, and I thought that using the translucent pieces, I did. It looks like he's floating above Luke using Force Choke, and then we'll aerial him after. I think that I really got the feel of the Mos Eisley map down too, with the moisture evaporator and the square building with the little lip on top that you can't just run right off the building. You have to like jump on top of it to get off the building or ramp off of it. But yeah, I think that this looks a lot like Mos Eisley, and even the terrain too, and just the colors that I chose. And of course it wouldn't be a Star Wars Battlefront 2 build without the health droid. The health droid's an iconic part of the game series, so I think that was an important add. This is Aayla Secura using her dash attack on Count Dooku, who's using Force Lightning. Ayla's dash attack blocks Force powers, so I thought that was a cool scene to incorporate there as well. Here's the mock without any figs, just to get a feel for the terrain. And then here's the moisture evaporator. I tried to kind of copy the 2003 build. Here's the health droid. I thought that turned out pretty well. Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with my part usage of this and how it turned out. This is the OG Darth Vader, like from my very first Star Wars set. It's not the same lightsaber hilt, obviously, but I forget what year this set came out in. I got it when I was like 4 or 5. My grandfather helped me build it, and this is what started the addiction. I also used the Luke Skywalker figure here from, I don't know where I got this figure. I forget what set, and I don't think it's the right hair for it either. I think it's like the standard, like no detail, short blonde hair that he comes with. Count Dooku from the Solar Sailor set, he's the Clone Wars version, and so is Aayla, because there is no actual like realistic version of Dooku and Aayla that have been made. They're still only made Clone Wars versions, so I don't love combining the cartoon version with the more realistic versions, but you gotta do what you gotta do, especially with Aayla. There's no other like face print that would really work other than this one for her skin color, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As always, I'm gonna be looking back at my build and seeing what I could improve upon and the things that I think I did well. Starting with what I thought I did well, I thought that the piece usage for the health droid was really cool. Using those cheese slope grate pieces was something that I hadn't thought of, and as I was building, they just were sitting in front of me, and I was like, I really want to use these. And as I was looking at the health droid and its shape and the way that it looked in the picture I was going off of, I was like, these would be perfect to create the body. It doesn't have the complete cylinder feel, but it does give you the graded feel, and I think that I compromised a little bit in shape, but I got the right texture, and I think overall it was a win. I also really liked how the door turned out. I used the quarter circle pieces to create that arch feel, and I haven't tried doing that before. This was the best door that I've ever built, and I think that it looks pretty accurate to what we see in the Battlefront 2 game. I also think overall that I captured the feel of Star Wars Battlefront 2 in this scene, just with the floating Vader coming out of nowhere, the health droid, the moisture evaporator. I think it's like, I look at this and I'm like, wow, that is Star Wars Battlefront 2, the OG classic version. For things I could improve on, I think the moisture evaporator was not great. It didn't have a consistent color scheme just because I didn't have the right color pieces in my collection. And I didn't feel creative with that or original, because as I was trying to build it, I just was going back to the old 2003 set, I think it was 2003, that I had, and that's what was like in my mind, and I couldn't really get out of that set out of my mind as I was building, as using that kind of as a framework for what I was doing. I think it's, yeah, it just doesn't feel right to me. And it's definitely something that I want to come back to and try and design one that looks a lot better for a future mock. Another thing I really think I can improve on is building in scale. And what I mean by that is identifying what minifigure scale is and staying consistent in minifigure scale and not jumping in and out of scale. So I don't know if this building is scaled right for minifigure scale compared to what the ratio between the Battlefront 2 characters is to the buildings in Battlefront 2, and I wanted to do that so it's like accurate, but I don't think I did. So I really need to focus on building in scale, and that was a problem in the Butcher Blaviken too that I kind of pointed out, but it wasn't one of my main focuses. So going forward, I'm really going to try and improve my building in the right scale. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, do me an additional favor, hit that like button and the subscribe button so you stay up to date when I drop new videos.